Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist can't do for you. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So there's a huge list of things that the narcissist can't do for you. I will bounce around, but I'll begin with give you closure. The narcissist can't give you closure. They don't want to give you closure. They will never give you closure. They want to keep you stuck. So at the ending of the narcissistic relationship, many times the people that were discarded, or even if they had to remove themselves from the relationship, they will look for closure. Closure will have to come from you. It can't come from the narcissist. The narcissist's job in their tiny little pea brain is to keep you stuck in the loop, to keep you pining for them, to keep you thinking about them, to keep you thinking, to have them living in your mind rent-free, etc. The narcissist will not ever give you closure. Closure will have to come from yourself. Now, this is a tough pill to swallow for many people, specifically if the relationship ended recently. And the reason why is because we, the people that were in these relationships with the narcissist, we gave to a fault. We perhaps were people pleasers. Maybe we were yes people, and maybe we didn't know how to say no, the strongest word in the English language. Maybe we were an empath who didn't have any direction. All these things and many more is what culminated in you entering the relationship. And when that relationship ended, it usually ends with a thud, a crash, a bang. And you're looking for the one person that you were in the relationship to offer closure to you and to tell you who they are and what they did and what they were about to do, etc. That's not what you're going to get from the narcissist. The narcissist is a shapeshifter. They are a dark energy source, a dark energy force, if you will. And what they want to do is they want to go on to the next new supply or the next shiny object as quick as they can once they've inflicted as much damage upon the former source of supply, which at one point was you. Now, closure is something you won't get from the narcissist. You need to get it from yourself. Another thing the narcissist can't do for you is they can't tell you who they really are. The narcissist will not come out and hand you a 2-page report and say, read this. This is what I did to people before I met you. It's what I will do with you if you want to enter the relationship. And it's certainly what I will do with other people after I discard you. You see, the narcissist needs to use smoke and mirrors. That's why they utilize the mask. That's why they are one person behind closed doors with you, and they were somebody completely different to the general public. In the general public, the narcissist plays the card of many times the victim, or that everything's going swimmingly in the relationship with you. But it's when you're in the car going 90 miles an hour on a freeway. It's when you're in the 4 walls of your house being gaslit or stonewalled or given the silent treatment or triangulated or enduring the smear campaign or experiencing verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, at times physical abuse. And yes, why mention the car? Because if the narcissist has people isolated, including in moving cars or maybe when they're in their own house, that's when many times they do the most damage. Not always, but many times. Because the narcissist wants to inflict as much disruption and chaos and manipulation upon the targets. And many times the people that are in the closest proximity of the narcissist are the targets, i.e. the spouses, the siblings, the parents, the grandparents. This is who endures most of the abuse. But back then when you were in that relationship, remember, you weren't taught Narcissism 101. You didn't know what it was. You knew that you were being treated poorly, but you couldn't put a finger on what the definitions or the terms were. And then one day you got your first light bulb moment and you figured out, oh my gosh, that's what triangulation is. That's what a rage fit is. That's what mirroring is. That's what projection is, etc. And then you went down the rabbit hole of education and the rabbit hole of exploration, and you figured out, yes, you were in a narcissistic relationship, and that in fact the narcissist can't and they couldn't and they won't and they never will tell you who they are. Now, this is a whole different concern, a question that comes up frequently during one-on-one sessions. Does the narcissist know they are a narcissist? I can't tell you for a fact that they know that's the term, but do they know that they inflict damage upon anybody who enters their sphere? Of course they do. Do they know that they don't care about anybody other than themselves? Yes, they do. Do they know what they're doing each and every day when they look to blow up relationships and to drive wedges between anything that matters to the target and the target? Yes, they do. Because the narcissist, what they do every day is they put their clothes on the same way that you do and I do, and they breathe the same air. And they have a very simple decision to make every morning. Am I going to stand for goodness, or am I not going to? And most times it is the latter, because the narcissist wants to accumulate. They want to accumulate broken hearts. They want to accumulate relationships. They want to accumulate money and time and energy and empathy and effort. All the things the narcissist wants, because the narcissist looks at life as a big opportunity. It's a big way to manipulate their way through life, to have certain people, which at one point was you, elevate them from where their former existence to a higher level of existence. Once they get from you whatever they wanted, they will discard you, or you will end it yourself, the relationship that is, and then they will go on to another source of supply that was waiting in the wings, i.e. the new supply. On other things that the narcissist can't help you with or can't tell you about are exactly what their former relationships were. Now think about this. When you were in the relationship with the narcissist, did they openly and genuinely tell you what happened to them in their childhood and their upbringing in high school and college and university? They probably didn't. They probably gave you little nuggets or hints of truth here and there, but they probably painted that past any which way they wanted to, because the people of their past weren't present to tell you what the real version of the past was. So this is why the narcissist gaslights people. This is why they create their own false narrative. This is why they use things from the past, from former relationships that may or may not have ever happened, to catapult them into newer relationships. Example, let's say you met the narcissist and you fell in love with them. Of course, the narcissist can't fall in love with you, but you didn't know that because you weren't taught this in school. But maybe they told you, yeah, spouse number one was an abuser. Spouse number one was so toxic. They didn't love the kids. They didn't spend any time with me. They did A, B, and C. And you, because you were new and you didn't know what narcissism was, and you were believing in the words of the narcissist, you were saying, wow, I can step in there and we can have a relationship and we can grow old together and build a family, etc. But see, what they told you about the past, they were probably speaking about themselves. Play that again. They were probably blaming their former spouse or partner, whoever that was, and they were painting that person as the negative person, the dark energy force, but they were talking about themselves. Now, that's not how it is all the time, but I'm saying the narcissist reveals themselves in time, and they give you hints and little clues as to who they really are when you were in the relationship, and certainly post-relationship, once you deduce and figure out who these people are. That's when you run for the hills. That's when you go no contact. That's when you block them, delete them, and remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them. You now are taking the lifelong learning lessons from the past. You are not predicting the future, and you are living in the present moment. This is what you must do, and you must understand there are so many things the narcissist can't do for you and couldn't do for you and wouldn't do for you. Let's talk about your health for a minute. Say you had a health concern, or maybe a couple of them. Was the narcissist there for you? I sincerely doubt it. Maybe they lifted a finger, and once maybe they drove you to the hospital or did something. Maybe they didn't. But the narcissist, they can't give what they don't have, and what they don't have is love, empathy, kindness. They don't have growth and commitment. What they have is smoke and mirrors and 1 foot outside of any relationship that they are a part of. The narcissist will go any which way the wind blows, and they will look for the next new shiny object, which at one point was you. But when you had a health concern or you had a medical concern, the narcissist most likely was nowhere to be found. Or if they were around you, they were probably getting supply from your misery and from your health concern. And I can assure you this, if they noticed that you had a health concern, or maybe you couldn't walk, or you had a detached retina, or some other more challenging health concern, they were grooming the new supply while you were trying to improve your health concern. You may say, well, wait, that's a little rough, Andrew. No, it's not. This is what they do. When they believe that somebody is not the superhuman that they once believed they were, i.e. you, and you have a health concern, they will do whatever they can to cut ties with you at your weakest or your lowest point, usually. Not always, but usually. But what they will be doing, because they still need validation and they still need to feel important and respected and all these things, they will have multiple sources of supply in the background, just grooming them, waiting for them to step into your place. This is what they do. But the narcissist can't tell you that. They wouldn't say that in a million years. Another thing, financial abuse. The narcissist didn't hand you that 2-page report and say, listen, I have a good amount of money in the bank and I will be taking as much money from you as I possibly can, but I don't want you to know about that. So I will claim like I don't have money, although throughout the relationship, I will be letting you pay for everything and having you work as hard as you possibly can for me and the relationship. And you will be footing the bill, and I'll be squirreling away some of the money that you are making. And the whole time I'll make it seem like it's the best thing ever for you. You see, the narcissist gives people 0. And they expect 120% in return. And that's from their immediate family members, their children, their parents, their spouses, their friends. They want to take, and take. And when they're done, what do they want to do? That's right, they want to take more. Now, the narcissist usually is under the disguise. They usually wear a mask. They infiltrate groups. They infiltrate businesses. They infiltrate hobbies and communities. And they infiltrate people's lives, neighborhoods and jobs, etc. They usually slide in under the radar, and nobody knows who the narcissist is until it's too late. Unless, and this is a huge caveat, unless you have the narcissistic abusive awareness because you came out of a narcissistic relationship and you healed properly. And now you can see the signs from 10,000 kilometers away. You know what gaslighting is, what stonewalling is, what the triangulation experience is, etc. But you can identify these. You couldn't back then because you didn't have the wisdom. Remember, this relationship, i.e. narcissistic relationship, you weren't supposed to figure it out. You were supposed to stay stuck and trapped and pining for the narcissist and wondering what went wrong, wondering if you could have done more, wondering if they did love you, wondering if they could change, wondering if the therapy that the narcissist claims that they're going to is actually helping them. We now know that the narcissist can't change. They can't introspect. They cannot ascend. They can only stay in that low vibrational quagmire state, which is lower than your shoe. Why do we know this? Because if the narcissist wanted to elevate and they wanted to improve their life, number one, they wouldn't be taking from people. Number two, they would be honest and authentic and genuine. Number three, they would be real about themselves and who they are, and that they would want to help themselves improve. But the narcissist doesn't want to do that. What they want to do is act like they're doing all the hard work, all the heavy lifting, the lifting and heavy work that you had to do. They're acting like they would do that, but they don't lift a finger. Sure, maybe they attend a therapy session here or there, or a Zoom call or whatever to claim that they're getting counseling, or they're working on themselves, they're taking a course, or they're seeing somebody to help them out. But are they really doing the work? No, they're not. They're not doing the work. What they're doing is they're claiming that they're doing something. Now go back to the beginning of the relationship. Remember, the narcissist claimed that they were somebody, but that they turned out to be somebody completely different. They claimed to be the love of your life. They claimed to be your soulmate. They claimed to be the yin to your yang. And they turned out to be your arch enemy. They turned out to be somebody who was trying to take you down for the count, who did not want you to exist, who did not want you to thrive, who did not want you to see behind the mask. There are so many things on the list of things the narcissist can't do for you. Other things would be they can't tell you about the smear campaign that they administered with you. They can't tell you all the lies that they told about you to your immediate family members, to your coworkers, to your neighbors, to your own kids or stepkids, to your extended family members, to the people in your hobbies or communities you were a part of. They can't tell you that, because if they were to tell you that, then they rat themselves out, and then they are actually the bad person. They would be exposed. That's why what the narcissist does, it's insidious. It infiltrates your life. And before you know it, it's too late. These creatures are already ingrained or ingratiated in your life, and you have to figure out a way to get A, away from them, B, to heal from them, and C, to go no contact and block them and delete them and remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. You need to understand these messages, because once you've identified that you are in a narcissistic relationship, or you were, and you know that, it's 1 minute too long. You shouldn't be in these relationships once you've identified that you're in a toxic relationship. If the relationship that you're thinking of, it's not reciprocal, and it's not a two-way relationship, a two-way street like this, equal, then you really need to understand, are you getting any value out of it? And if you're not, I really suggest you take a closer look at that relationship. All these things I'm sharing with you are the things the narcissist can't tell you, and they can't help you with. What they can do is the narcissist can administer as much punishment in the relationship while you're in it, until you get the wisdom, until you figure it out, until you find that needle in a haystack, and until you finally go no contact, etc. Now, many people are stuck in the relationship despite the fact that they know that they're in a narcissistic relationship. Maybe they're still married to the narcissist. Maybe they still own properties or assets. Maybe they're waiting for the children to graduate high school or university. Maybe they're waiting for the divorce to go through, or to get a settlement of some capacity. I understand all of these things. Many people are actually have gone from romance to roommate in the narcissistic relationship, which means they were, the person married the narcissist, or perhaps fell in love with them, and they moved in together, and they were together intimately for a while, and then one thing led to another, and wedges were driven between that relationship, and one person lives in the West Wing, the other person lives in the East Wing, and they're just waiting to get out of that situation or that environment. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friend, it could be a coworker, a colleague that's stuck and trapped in the loop of narcissistic abuse, but they're living in the same house or apartment. This is not good. It's not healthy. The path is to really separate yourself from the narcissistic relationship and sever or separate the four ties. And the ties, again, are the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. If you understand what you're up against, then you can defeat it. just like I have and so many other people have. We have reached the pinnacle of indifference. We have reached the mountaintop of indifference where we no longer care about the narcissist or people from that period of time, because there will be casualties from the relationship. Many times they're your own kids. Many times they're the grandkids. Many times they're friends that you've had for 10, 20, 30 years. Many times it's other people in business. But the point being that one narcissist inflicts so much damage, and there are so many things the narcissist can't do for you or can't tell you about, because that would blow their cover. They can't just walk up to you, like I say in videos so frequently, and say, look, this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna do to you. I'm really good at it too. So if you're gonna believe in the mask, enter at your own risk. They can't do that, because if they did that, they would be exposing themselves. Now, I share that so frequently because if anybody on the planet has to wear a mask to manipulate other people, you need to run for the hills. A mask is meant to be worn during Halloween, and that's exactly one day out of the year. That's what we should be wearing a mask for, or maybe during other things, if you get my point, meaning certain health concerns. But aside of that, you shouldn't be wearing a mask every single day and it have to unsuper glue it from your face, depending on who you're with. Example, when you wake up in the morning and you're in the household with the narcissist, well, the narcissist doesn't have the mask because they're abusing you and telling you how little you did that day or how little you're doing tomorrow or why you're not doing anything. But then they grab a shower, they go out the door, and then they put the happy mask on and they go to work and they act like everything's puppies and unicorns and rainbows and you're stuck at home holding the bag. And then they put on a different mask when they go to the gym. They put on their sexy mask or look, I'm in great shape mask to try and lure and draw other people. And then another mask they would wear would be on social media. Many times the narcissist is crawling all over social media, specifically dating apps, and their profile picture looks nothing like who they really are. Their profile picture may be a rotund human being with a spaghetti stained t-shirt on, and perhaps they're losing a couple hairs on the top of their head, when in reality that's their real appearance, was what I meant to say. And their profile picture may be looking like an Adonis or one of the most beautiful or handsome people on the planet. That's not always the case, but the narcissist will do whatever they can do to get new supplies, and they can't and they won't ever help anybody do the right thing. Meaning, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to continue to manipulate. They're going to continue to blame shift, and they're going to continue to not care, but not only about you, but about anybody. This is why you need to run for the hills from the narcissistic relationship. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you all. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember who the narcissist is. Don't romanticize the past. Don't think the past was all puppies and rainbows. Practice radical acceptance and understand that that relationship was what it was, not what you wanted it to be, and that the narcissist can't change. They will continuously and constantly vibrate in that low vibrational quagmire state. You will elevate, you will ascend higher than the sun, the moon, and stars, but you have to leave the narcissistic relationship in the past. You have to process things. You have to see a therapist, journal, meditate, watch videos, heal childhood wounds, and understand that where you are today is not where you will be in 3 months, in 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months. Continue on the path moving forward each and every day. I love you all. God bless you. I'm going to send you a big heart and a big hug, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Bye.